we know people who have a degree and gain debt from a degree that's probably not going to lead them to anywhere that is going to be prosperous for them.
Right.
And I don't think that it's worth somebody else's tax money to be paying for them to get this degree that's probably, like I said, not going to lead to like much of anything.
Yeah. And that's like the big argument with this coming election. Um, Democrats are going for the universal health care and free college tuition for to state schools or federally funded schools. Um, and I totally I see both sides. Like I don't want my taxes to astronomically rise so that I can, like I said, pay for somebody to get a gender studies degree. But also, I would love for my student loans to just disappear. They say, "All right, good job, buddy. You graduated from a federally funded school.
Yeah.
You're rewarded with your tuition, your student loans getting paid off by the government." But I don't want. I think that the the more that we as a collective people in the United States give up like our liberties to the government or let the government intrude, the less innovative and the less effective society is, in my opinion.
So the more of a control that the government has on us, basically in a social aspect, the more the government controls us, like shit. So like basically like the less like we control ourselves, basically.
Yes, in a sense. So here's like one example. My company that I'm working for, they had years ago, before the Obama administration put in the Affordable Care Act, which set
Yeah.
a minimal standard for healthcare that employers had to give their employees. It set that
Okay.
minimal standard. So prior to that, the company that I now work for had exceptional, crazy good healthcare. Like they covered everything, took really good care of their employees. Then the Affordable Care Act set these minimal standards that every company had to meet. Then my company's own standards dropped to meet that because there was no incentive for them to go above.
Oh well, yeah.
So, it's things like that. When the government sets a standard for something, there's no room for innovation or incentive to go above that or to
Well,
be
yeah,
better.
because if the government says that this is the bar that you got to meet, why what the fuck is there a point to go above and beyond that? Because if the government's not going above that, what's the point in you doing more work than the government is supposed to be doing?
Right, right. So every time that they or that they, I don't want to be like conspiratorial and just say they,
Oh,
um,
Big Brother, the
right.
Big Brother.
Yeah, I don't want to be like that, but every time that, like I said, the government has their hands in something, it is inherently less innovative and less effective. And that's just my opinion, but it's kind of backed up through a lot of examples. But
I feel like there's a lot of examples of government-funded agencies and projects and privately funded agencies and projects that private funded projects work out a lot better than government funded projects.
that's usually how it works out. Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how that happens.